this is Grace Power with My Gold Sugar, and I'm so excited today to share with you that I have come out with a new consistency of sugar. I am calling it Pure Gold, and it's really best for the professional esthetician who does a lot of sugaring and needs a softer sugar to work with and is very skilled at using sugaring. They've already been through the learning curve with the firmer sugars and are ready for just a professional grade sugar, which we are loving at the My Gold Sugar studio where we do a lot of services. We're using a lot of this pure gold sugar. So it's just been added to our website at bedazzle.com. If you have a wholesale account or have signed up for industry pricing, then you can log in and you can get deals on this down to $24 a jar for the 32 ounces. These are a bigger jar because, you know, it's made for the professional going through a lot of sugar. And it's the first time I've really made a sugar that was specifically for estheticians or cosmetologists doing sugaring in a very busy salon. So you want to, get the bigger jar because you'll go through it faster, or it will last longer is what I meant. But at the same time, you actually go through it slower. And I'm going to demonstrate it so you can kind of see why that is. But because it's a softer sugar, it stays a nice consistency to work with for a lot longer. It just seems to last longer, so you're going through less balls of sugar, especially on the larger body areas like legs and arms and those kinds of things. So I also wanted to show you kind of the differences because it's a softer sugar, but it stays firm enough to work with. Like, you still have to be good with sugaring so it doesn't just completely start melting everywhere and that kind of thing. But it's when you're really good at sugaring, it's not going to be too melty, except possibly on like really hot areas like the anal area or nostrils, ears. I would still recommend having a firmer sugar for the really hot spots, or for somebody who just is sweating a lot or really hot, or those very first time Brazilians or underarm customers who come in and their hair is super coarse and really thick. Then you might want a firmer sugar for some of that or most of those hairs. But otherwise, this is the only sugar you're going to need. Like, it works on all the body areas. You can do Brazilians with it, especially for your repeat clients. It does brows really nice. It does the upper lip much better than the other sugars that I had, even the soft. It just gets a lot of that vellous hair out, and it's picking up way more hair in the first pass, so you don't have to go over and over the skin as often. Like with my other sugars, they're more gentle, but they were like, you have to go over the skin a few times to get all the sugar or get all the hair. And with this sugar, it seems like it's picking up way more hair the first time and not even having to mold as much or as long. So it's good for speed sugaring, it's good for large areas, and it's also really surprisingly, you can use it as a no heat sugar. You don't need to heat it up. We do heat it up in the salon because it just feels a little nicer when it goes on the skin. It's not hot, but it's, we keep it about 80 degrees, maybe somewhere between 80 and 83 degrees. So it's a little bit warmer than room temperature, but not much warmer than the skin. It's not going to burn the skin or anything like that. So like the hottest you would put it would be like 96 degrees, body temperature. So somewhere in there is kind of nice to warm it, and it goes on a little bit smoother. But if you don't have a warmer, or if you just are kind of against electricity, or using more electricity than you need, the going green concept, you do not need to heat it. So I'm going to show you how that works. So this is not heated. This is just how it would come. You can see why I call it pure gold. It's very pretty. But you can just put your hand in and pull a piece out without having to heat it up. So that is really nice. And it's soft, it's pliable. So it's not like super sticky or anything, but it is soft enough to grab it out. Now I do mention that I'm in Florida and it's probably like 77 to 78 degrees in the house right now. So that does affect it. If you are somewhere really dry, a dry climate, and it's like 65 degrees in your house or something, then it might be too firm to pull out like I just did. It does shift depending on the room temperature and the room humidity. So, you know, in Florida we have more humidity, so I find that the sugar sometimes is softer compared to in Colorado where we make it. So anyways, this is it. It's just awesome, and I'm just gonna move the camera down and do some areas on my legs so you can kind of see it in action and see what I'm talking about with the effectiveness. Maybe, let's see, get a better view here. Just kind of do right along here. So this is without being heated. Oh, sorry, my phone. And you can see how it's going on super, pretty easy. You know, I'm not putting in a lot of pressure or anything, and it's able to come on. Now, as I work with it, it's going to warm up just because of my hand heat and my body heat. So it will warm up and it will get a little softer as I work with it. So and for legs, if you were wanting to do even faster, I could even grab a bigger blob of sugar and be able to cover more surface area for each section. So that's one way I do the speed sugaring too. Another thing that we're finding is that the client is not feeling as much hair pulling when you're putting it on, and you're able to put it on a little bit faster just because it glides on smoother. So you don't have to go as slow to prevent the pulling, and they're just not feeling as much pulling as it's being put on. So that's a really big plus with sugaring, because I would say that's the #1 complaint of people that have been sugared and didn't like it. They just say that it pulled too much on there. It pulled too much when it was being applied. To get the $24 per jar price, you have to do a 9-pack, and that's on the wholesale side. I do offer discounts on the packs as well if you don't have a wholesale account. So you can go to bedazzle.com and just kind of get a feel for our pricing for I have a 5-pack and a 9-pack. And of course you get the best deal on the 9-pack. And shipping right now is a flat rate of $4.99. So even with the shipping, you're saving money, because it costs us within the US, I think it costs us $17 or $18 to ship the 9-pack, but we're only charging $5. So, and even on the 5-pack, you save. You're just paying $5 for shipping, and we, you know, it's for our cost it is more. Okay, so you can see, like, I'm going along and it's just still working, like still working really good. It's still going on really smooth, and it just goes on a little bit faster. And when you actually feel it in your hand, you know, it's hard to portray on a video, but when you feel it in your hand, it's less strenuous for your hand. And so, you know, it's just really easier to work with when you're doing sugaring like all day long, hours upon hours of sugaring. It's nice to have a sugar that glides on. It's not putting as much tension and pressure on your hands. So, I mean, I could keep going, but I think I'm gonna cut this video a little bit short. just since I really just wanted you to see the sugar, see it in action, and hear all the awesome benefits of it. It's really like a miracle sugar. Like, we just happened upon it. A friend of mine asked me to see if I could make a sugar for her that was softer, and in our process of doing different recipes and trying different methods of making the sugar, we stumbled upon this Pure Gold sugar for professionals. So I don't recommend this if you're brand new to sugaring. We do have, you know, our firm, which is great for just learning the ball method, and that's just putting it on with your hand. If you are using strips and you've never done sugaring, but you want to just do strip sugaring with the Halon strips, or really any strips, linen strips or anything, then you could use this because it's a nice soft sugar, and you could warm it. You know, I'd recommend warming it up for the strip method to get the best results, and for it to last, to get the most bang for your buck. Because if you warm it up and like make it more like a wax, you can put it on thinner, so you'll go through less product. So if you are using it for strips, then the big one is fine. The Pure Gold would be fine for you. But if you've never done the ball method, start with the firmer sugars just to get a feel for it. Like, even just one jar, just to start learning. Once you get through some of the firm sugar, trying it, you're going to build up your technique, and then you should be ready for the softer sugars. So thanks for tuning in today. Check out bedazzle.com, and I will be in touch with you more on this sugar as we develop it and get some labels for it and all sorts of things, make it a little bit more ready to sell. So I'll talk to you in the next video.